We've all seen Renova's attack on Khaenri'ah. I would assume most of you think this is when Renova cursed the pure-blooded Khaenri'ahns with immortality and the non-pure-blooded with the curse of wilderness, which turned them into Hilichurls, right? Well,
It was just before I placed the curse of immortality.
she does not mention the curse of wilderness here. If you look at the in-game description for Hilichurls, it's clearly stated that they're at least 1,000 years old, which makes them already older than the cataclysm which happened only 500 years ago. Let's see how far we can trace the curse back. When the Abyss monsters started attacking Khaenri'ah, the Schwanritter evacuated people to the surface of Sumeru. Some of those refugees turned into monsters when arriving at the surface, so the evacuated here were probably mixed between immune pure-blooded and non-pure-blooded. Some of them were so afraid to turn into monsters as well that they decided to return underground, meaning at this point Celestia hasn't even attacked yet, but the curse was already active. The book Perenheri Volume 2 takes place during Khaenri'ah's Crimson Moon dynasty shortly after the Archon War. We know that Angelica fled Liyue because she didn't like Morax as new Archon, so we're talking about like 2000 years ago. Perenheri, his friend Hilichurls, and Angelica leave the borders of Khaenri'ah when suddenly Hilichurls turns into a wild beast, probably a Hilichurl. According to Angelica's explanation, this generation already descends from people who were punished with the curse for betraying their god. Apparently, the aristocrats were aware and made extra sure to stay pure-blooded to be immune. One could argue that only the purebloods were allowed to leave the country. We'll get further confirmation in the new artifact set Night of the Skies unveiling. The mad monk Rodvangi became obsessed with forbidden knowledge about the Abyss, which led him to be exiled from Khaenri'ah. He was originally an outlander and knew what would happen if he left the country. However, once he entered the surface of Teyvat, he didn't transform, as opposed to those around him. Not only is the curse here described as ancient, which confirms it to be way older than 2000 years, it is seen as punishment for turning your back on the gods, which goes in line with what Angelica said. But why didn't Rodvangi transform if he committed this sin? Isn't the pure Khaenri'ah bloodline what makes you immune? Let me know what you think in the comments. We can track the curse even further back in time to the ancient kingdom Solvindagnir, which is nowadays known as Dragonspine. We can't pinpoint the exact date of Solvindagnir's downfall, but we find a note that they heard that Khaenri'ah was being built. Assuming all celestial nails fell on Earth at the same time, it should be around 6,000 years ago. The kingdom had a scribe, which was named Ukko. When he eventually died, with his last words he cursed the heavens and hoped that the new nation without gods would eventually have what it takes to stand against this world. On this location here on Dragonspine, you encounter a frost lavachool who bears the same name as the scribe, Ukko. This again is evidence that the price for betraying the gods indeed is the curse of wilderness. Concluding all the evidence leaves us with the result that the curse is at least 6,000 years old, possibly even older if even the Eclipse dynasty called it ancient. When did the curse activate first? Was the first attempt responsible for turning ancients into Seelies for opposing the gods? Wolfie mentioned that Celestia turned tribes into animals instead of just unaliving them. How many people and civilizations were destroyed before Solvindagnir? Could it be possible that all Hilichurls are humans who once opposed the gods, or are they also a natural occurrence? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.